Today from sold-out Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, a Pac-12 Big Ten matchup between two ranked teams. The number 16 UCLA Bruins take on the 23rd ranked Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. Happy to have you with us for one of the biggest games of this young college football season to date. And as the UCLA Bruins try to defeat Nebraska for the second year in a row, they do so while dealing with tremendous tragedy. The death of their teammate, sophomore wide receiver Nick Pasquale, who was struck by a car and killed early Sunday morning while walking along a street in his hometown of San Clemente, California. Obviously, it's been a very difficult week for the UCLA football program. Both teams today will honor Nick. With more down on the field, here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Sean, some things are bigger than sports, and that will be on full display here today. As you just mentioned, both teams honoring Nick Pasquale. The UCLA players and coaches will have a number 36 patch over their left chest. That was Pasquale's number. The Nebraska players will also have a number 36 sticker on their helmets. After the coin toss, there will be a moment of silence. At that time, the Nebraska student section will release 200 gold and blue balloons. And just another example of how much Pasquale meant to his players, they have designated a locker inside their locker room for Pasquale. It's something that they will continue to do the rest of the season at their away games. Now, Pasquale had only played in one game for this Bruin organization, but Jim Mora said he was so respected, so loved, and that his team takes comfort in knowing that Nick would want them to play on. Sean?
All right, Shannon, I'm joined by Chris Spielman. Jim Mora was so relieved that Nick Pasquale got a chance to live his dream of playing in a football game for UCLA. He played in the game against Nevada, their only game so far this year, in the blowout victory. And Jim doesn't know how his team's going to respond today. These are young men, many of them dealing with something like this for the first time in their lives.
You know, unfortunately, I had this experience back in 1990 in a game. Mike Utley had a spinal cord injury, and our team didn't know how to react. In '92, my roommate, Eric Andosek, was killed tragically. Two things can happen according to my experience. One, you want to honor the young man so much, and you want to play so hard that sometimes you lose concentration, and that takes over. Or the positive effect that can happen is that the team can honor Nick by how they play, how they concentrate, and how they focus. And just talking with Coach Moore this week, Sean, I think the team is ready to go, and they'll have that galvanizing effect and play well in honor of Nick.
Yeah, he thought they had a great week of practice despite dealing with this tragedy. Last year when they played in Pasadena, it was a shootout. UCLA won 36-30, and again this year, as was the case last year, we'll see two of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country.
Well, let's start with Brett Hundley, and Todd McShay at Scouts Inc. has him number 2 behind Teddy Bridgewater. Although when you look at all the billboards, you won't see Brett Hundley's name up there. But last year he was able to put 305 yards up on this Nebraska defense, accounted for 4 touchdowns. And that's against a pretty darn good pass defense that Nebraska plays. On the other side, Taylor Martinez. I know that Jim Moore is concerned about Taylor. In order for UCLA to be in this game, you got to contain number 3. And Taylor went 95 yards on a run last year against a tough Bruin defense.
UCLA 1-0 with the win over Nevada. Nebraska's 2-0 with home victories against Wyoming and Southern Miss. The opening kickoff from Lincoln right after this. Morrow Bondi will kick off. Nebraska won the toss and deferred. Wearing black jerseys today. Bondi's kick about 7 yards deep into the end zone. Down by Stephen Manfro. So UCLA, after scoring 58 points in the 58-20 opening win against Nevada 2 weeks ago, an off week last week, led by the quarterback, sophomore Brett Hundley from Chandler, Arizona, threw for 274 and rushed for 63 against the Wolfpack. More than 91,000 on hand, trying to make life difficult for Hundley.
It looked like he was encouraging noise, accepting the challenge.
Out of the gun, design run. Showed good patience and fumbled the football at the 25. Looked like Torian White, the right tackle, got on it for the Bruins. They'll mark it at the 25 8-yard line for a gain of 3.
You're going to see the speed of Randy Gregory, the defensive end, number 44, in pursuit, able to knock that ball behind because the ball was not tucked up against the body. Lack of ball security on Hundley's part.
Hundley plenty of time, and his pass batted down by Ciante Evans. Intended for Darius Bell. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Sean, you're going to see that all day. Nebraska loves to get in your face and challenge those wide receivers, and they're very physical. There'll be a lot of contact, and right there, Ciante Evans did a good job avoiding contacting and coming in with the right hand to knock it down.
3rd and 2. Hundley throws, intercepted. Intended for Evans, picked off by Stanley Jean-Baptiste. All the way back inside the 30-yard line.
We talk about communication. The communication between a receiver and a quarterback. You have to be on the same page. Gregory has made his presence known. He might have tipped that ball, but I think what happened was Hundley's going to throw the back shoulder. And number 1, Evans didn't come back for the football. Now, Hundley has to read that because Evans was behind Stanley Jean-Baptiste. That's where he has to go over the top. So the lesson there, quarterback and receiver better be on the same page, but against a tough man-to-man coverage, they'll make you pay, just like they did.
Hundley had gone 109 consecutive passes without an interception before that one. Jean-Baptiste has had 1 interception in each of their 3 games this year now. Jamal Turner in trouble and banged down right away out in the flat. Fabian Moreau made the tackle. Gain of 2. Nebraska had the ball for only 34 seconds on its first possession.
And you get Taylor Martinez involved with called runs this week. They've kind of been protected in the first 2 ball games.
5 receivers spread the field. Room for Turner. And he ducks down with a first down near the 15-yard line. Tackled by Anthony Barr. An 11-yard gain in the first down of the day for Nebraska.
It's fun to see the growth and development of Taylor Martinez, especially as a passer from the pocket.
I formation behind him now.
Old school Nebraska.
Amir Abdullah takes the option pitch and goes down at the 11. Anthony Jefferson in on the stop for UCLA as Abdullah followed the fullback C.J. Zimmerer.
Spoke with Amir yesterday, Sean. He was excited about becoming the feature back, an opportunity to make his name amongst the great I-backs.
Split time last year with Rex Burkhead. He's gone on to the NFL. Abdullah's rushed for exactly 114 yards in each of their first 2 games. On 2nd and 6 to the end zone. Touchdown. Quincy Enunwa. First catch of the day for Enunwa. He's caught 9 passes so far this year. 4 of them have gone for touchdowns. He's a senior, had 3 career touchdowns entering this year. He's had 4 already as a senior. Pat Smith, transfer from Western Illinois, adds the extra point. So the Huskers take advantage of the turnover. They've had 7 interceptions as a defense already this year. Took just 4 plays to capitalize on the touchdown pass to Enunwa. Always trying to adhere to their normal game day routine. The Husker marching band out here early, 6:35 this morning, practicing their pregame and halftime routines. They were out there practicing for more than 90 minutes. Big part of the game day experience and one of the great venues in all of American sport. Recently expanded Memorial Stadium. 6,000 seats added across the field from us. And another booming kickoff by Morrow Bundy. Bo Pelini in his 6th year as head coach. 51-20. Has won at least 9 games every year, but he's also lost 4 games every season. And here at Nebraska, they think that's a lot of losses. Hundley is a man wide open. Grayson Mazzoni down to the 25-yard line. Harvey Jackson made the tackle. So they've had gains in the passing attack of 33 and 39 have had the Bruins.
This is just a nice little switch route where Mazzoni's the inside receiver. At the snap of the ball becomes the wide outside receiver. Play designed to create confusion, and it did.
Hundley keeps and weaves forward for a couple. Corey Cooper up from his safety spot to make the stop at the 22-yard line.
And one test you're going to find out if this Cornhusker defense is in condition because the Bruin offense is operating at a rapid pace.
Bruins had the ball for 38 minutes of the 60 against Nebraska last year. Hundley in trouble and taken down back behind the line of scrimmage by Avery Moss. Freshman from Tempe, Arizona, with his first career sack.
He's coming off with a nice little swim rip, and a good job of Nebraska closing down the running lanes and not getting too far upfield. And Avery Moss beats the young offensive tackle Goins off the edge. Excuse me, that was Torian White, number 77.
Don Papuchis, the defensive coordinator, signaling in on 3rd and 11. Just the 2nd sack of the year for Nebraska. They played some quick passing attacks. Tough to get to the quarterback. Hundley throws, dropped in the flat. Not a perfect throw, but certainly catchable by Devin Fuller, sophomore from New Jersey, who was highly recruited by Nebraska as a quarterback.
Yeah, they'll come back to that because they had a matchup with the linebacker Nathan Gary, one-on-one with Fuller, and that's a matchup they'll look to exploit again as we move forward in this ball game.
Interesting formation here. 4 men spread out to the left. And they shift into field goal formation now. Kaimi Fairbairn. This will be a 45-yard try. Field goal. He was 1 for 2 against Nevada. Made one from 40. Missed from 48. That one needs to hook, and it did. Looked like one of Chris Spielman's tee shots. Kind of a snap hook.
I was going to go with Jim Furyk popping a 59 yesterday.
How about that?
Wow. Playing to win.
And like yours, in the end, right down the middle.
Yes, sir.
State. It was a terrific first season for Jim Mora. They went 9-5, won the Pac-12 South. Now they're favored to repeat. Lost in the Pac-12 title game to Stanford. Lost in the Holiday Bowl to Baylor.
He believes his best years are ahead of him, and you look at the roster and the amount of young folks that play on this team and the talent that he's able to recruit. And quite frankly, the time to strike is now when you have crosstown rival USC struggling a little bit.
And they've dominated college football in Los Angeles for a while, but it is certainly shifting, it seems, toward the Bruins now. Fairbairn sends a wobbler down the field. Farrell Newby, the freshman, had trouble fielding it. He's out of bounds at the 29-yard line. One of the highlights of this college football season, every college football season, the Rose Bowl game. This year, the 100th Rose Bowl game. Played in a beautiful setting in Pasadena. Stadium also the home of the UCLA Bruins. Nice catch by Kenny Bell, and a great move. He was able to shake Fabian Moreau, and it took Anthony Jefferson, the safety, to come over to get him across the boundary. Gain of 18.
Open field tackling on both sides. Watch this little shake and bake. Let me give you an ankle breaker. Wow. And watch this. This is what I like. Does not run out of bounds, but lowers his shoulder to fight for the extra yards. That's why this crowd loves number 80, Kenny Bell. He'll give you everything they have.
Well, the catch by Kenny Bell a moment ago, 93rd of his career. That moves him to a tie for 7th with that terrific former Husker, Matt Davison. Both with 93 catches all time. Of course, when Matt played back there in the late 90s, they mostly blocked.
That's it.
And here Abdullah Crosses the 50-yard line. Gain of about 5.5. Penalties were a problem last year for the Bruins. They were the most penalized team in the country. Flagged 129 times in 14 games. Almost 90 yards per game in penalties. Still managed to have a very good year. And Moore thinks they could have a terrific year this year, but he said we are really going to be good in the next couple of years. Taylor Martinez on 2nd and 5 throws incomplete over the middle. The general direction of Ethan Carter. Anunwa was also in the vicinity. Tough really to tell for whom that was intended. 3rd down and 5.
I think that was intended for the true freshman Carter, matched up with Zumwalt, and the problem is they were playing man. Carter set it down. If you play man, then you got to take the route and run across the field. So that's a true freshman making a true freshman mistake, but they have a lot of faith in that young man, and they'll come back to him.
On 3rd and 5, Martinez flushed, has terrific speed, has a first down to the 44-yard line. Run out by Cassius Marsh.
I mean, this is a killer. You've got everybody covered downfield, but when you have an athlete that has probably plays at a sub 4.540, keeps the chains moving with his legs, he's something. I mean, I don't think Taylor gets enough credit for how good he is, especially running the football. He ran one for 95 against the Bruins last year, and Sean against Wisconsin, the Big Ten championship game, he ran one for 130 yards running all over the field.
It wasn't officially 130
no.
yards. Martinez hands it off straight ahead to Amani Cross. Tough run. He's a powerful backup to Abdullah, 225 pounds. Here's Shannon Spake.
Hey, Chris, Sean, you guys were talking about Taylor Martinez yesterday. The coaches told us he puts a lot of pressure on himself, wants to win a championship. They try to relax him on the sidelines. No relaxing for him. I haven't even seen him sit on the bench.
Tosses it back to Cross. He has the first down. Then got planted by Eric Kendricks.
Bo Pelina told Taylor, the person you have to please is yourself and your teammates. You can't worry about all outside influence. Just play within yourself. And when he does that, he's very effective. And right now, the offensive line of Nebraska is very effective. They're winning the physical battle up front.
Bo Pelini thinks it's his best offensive line in the 6 years. Martinez's pass incomplete. Looking for Sam Birch. Good coverage from Brandon Sermons. Fabian Moreau.
Boy, I like that call, though, Sean. You're running the ball, and you're pounding it, and you're pounding it. You come back with play action on 1st down, trying to catch those safeties, sneaking up there to help out on the run.
Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, does a terrific job. They're very balanced. Last year, they averaged more than 200 yards rushing and passing per game. The only team in the Big Ten to do that. Carroll Newby, the receiver, young man out of Los Angeles, came down to Nebraska and UCLA, chose Nebraska. Jim Moore said we were very disappointed we didn't get him. He thinks Newby's going to be a terrific college football player. On 3rd and short, the quick snap, and Abdullah looks like they're going to give him the mark right on that yellow line for the first down. He was tripped up by Miles Jack. Crowd's telling Bo Pelini to go for it, but it might be a first down. He wants him to measure it.
Yeah, I think it's that close. You probably should get a measurement out of that.
Well, they're not going to measure it. Abdullah on 4th and inches has the first down.
Well, that's something you don't see. Going back in the highlight films of the Nebraska team of the 70s. Running the power sweep, student body right.
Good block on the last play by C.J. Zimmerer. 16th play of the drive. They start at their own 8-yard line. Abdullah down to the 14, got 3. Lee Epinesa made the tackle with help from Anthony Jefferson.
See right now there's some fresh bodies coming in for that UCLA defensive front, trying to keep them fresh as Nebraska's operating at their rapid pace.
Final minute of the first quarter. Nebraska trying to add to its 7-3 lead. Abdullah goes in motion. Martinez throws underneath. Caught. Touchdown. Second of the game for Quincy Enunwa. What a drive by the Huskers. 92 yards in 17 plays. Extra point good by Mauro Bondi.
You see right here, it's a little bit of a switch route. You're going to get somewhat of a pick out here, and another one's going to come inside. If you're the defense, you can't give a free release to the inside receiver, expecting inside help, but inside help was late. Then Goforth comes in to make the tackle. He's tackling at the ankles. Enunwa says, I'll have nothing to do with it. I'll go over the top, just like he did. He's a good football player, all around good wide receiver, especially blocking, and has courage to go into the middle to catch the ball.
Martinez and Enunwa both from California. There are 9 Californians on this Nebraska team. Stephen Manfro back deep for the kick from Mauro Bondi. Kicking with the breeze. That'll be his 3rd touchback of the opening quarter. Through the uprights. Jordan James, Paul Perkins around Hundley. James took the handoff. Taken down by Josh Banderas with help from Stanley Jean-Baptiste, who was up around the line of scrimmage.
What a dream for Josh Banderas. His father was a tight end here for Nebraska, right here in Lincoln. Starting your true freshman year against the UCLA Bruins.
Tom Banderas played here in the mid-'80s. Hundley's pass dropped. Good throw. Grayson Mazzoni couldn't catch it. Son of Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, does such a great job as the architect of this offense. Final seconds of the first quarter. 3rd down and 6 for the Bruins.
Well, Hundley needs to settle down just a tad, Sean. He's off target by a hair on a couple throws, uncharacteristically.
Here comes the rush. Gregory got him from behind. The sophomore Randy Gregory in his first year in Nebraska as a junior college transfer from Arizona Western Community College, where he didn't play at all last year with a broken leg. That leg is healed now. Terrific first quarter for Nebraska, leading 14-3. Fumble. Problem at the snap by Covington. The freshman in trouble and taken down at the 27.
Fundamentals. Good snap right in the hands. And sometimes with freshmen, they learn hard lessons. And the lights get big. Huge challenge for the Bruin defense right now to keep them off the board at all costs.
Well, we talked to Jim Moore about Covington, the freshman who hadn't punted prior to today. They didn't punt in the opener. He said he has a terrific leg, but prone to the shank from time to time, and undoubtedly some nerves. In his first game as a college punter, Amir Abdullah carried for 3. Remember, he took over for Jeff Locke, who's now with the Minnesota Vikings, drafted by your brother, Rick Spielman. And Jeff Locke was a little bit shaky and nervous in his NFL debut last week against the Detroit Lions.
He'll get better.
He will. He's a very talented punter, as the Bruin fans well remember. Taylor Martinez
Throws, corner of the end zone, caught. Touchdown, Kenny Bell.
It's all about trust. This ball is in the air right now. Kenny Bell goes up and is able to find it because the ball is underthrown a little bit, but it was still released early enough where Kenny Bell can get his head around it and win the jump ball against Fabian Moreau. There's the toughness of Taylor Martinez taking a shot from Vanderdoes, still delivering the strike and giving his guy a chance to make a play.
So UCLA making mistakes and the Cornhuskers making the Bruins pay. Just 2 plays to take advantage of the dropped snap by Covington. Extra point good by Pat Smith. So Taylor Martinez, who's improved dramatically as a thrower over his 4-year career because his mechanics are better, has thrown another touchdown pass. His 3rd of the game, his 9th in 3 games. It's 21-3. 22-yard touchdown reception by Kenny Bell. His last 11 touchdown catches have all been for 20 yards or longer. He is a big playmaker for Nebraska. Laurel Bondi kicking off into the breeze for the first time today. And that goes out of bounds shy of the goal line. And Breeze is kicked up. It's a factor, and it influenced Bondi.
Ball be placed at the 35-yard line.
Today's sellout, number 328 in a row, by far the longest in the nation, dating back 51 years. Bob Devaney's first year as head coach. October 20th, 1962 against Kansas State, the last time they didn't sell out here at home.
It's a great venue for college football. It epitomizes college football.
With tremendous fans. Brett Hundley needs to get the Bruins going. Good decision there to keep it. He runs for about 6. And I think, Chris, it is fair at this juncture, with as poorly as the Bruins have played, to circle back to the opening of the telecast, the death of Nick Pasquale last weekend, wondering how the Bruins would play. And you wonder if that has had an impact. Of course, it's also a 9 a.m. start for them. 9 a.m. Pacific. Avery Moss swung down Jordan James. But Jim Moore didn't think that would be a big deal. They practice at 7 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles Pacific time.
Right. I'll tell you what else is happening, Sean, is that the defensive ends of Nebraska are handling the young sophomore tackles of UCLA on about every play.
And that is a spot where the Nebraska coaches thought they might have an advantage. Good catch by Devin Fuller at midfield for a first down. John Capuch just said we really need to win the matchup of our defensive ends against UCLA's tackles. Very important possession in this football game for the Bruins. Down by 18. Hundley, man open, caught by Fuller in stride. If he had been in stride, rather, it would have been a touchdown. He had to lunge a bit for it and had to go down at the 16.
This is a wheel route. They're matching up Gary, number 25, the true freshman linebacker. They're in zone, but they clear the safety out with the outside receiver, getting a one-on-one matchup. Speed beat Gary on that particular play.
Well, he was in stride. He just stumbled as he avoided the tackle, or tried to. Perkins, the ball carrier. Or Hundley, the ball carrier. And Michael Rose made the tackle at the 10-yard line. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4, nearing a minute to go. The teams with 2 timeouts. Hundley handled the low snap, and it's a touchdown for Paul Perkins. Second touchdown of the year for Perkins. And a huge touchdown drive for the Bruins. Really Fairbairn on for the extra point. No disputing that that one was good. And that'll be Nebraska's ball to begin the second half. Taylor Martinez threw 3 touchdown passes. Nebraska capitalized on a turnover and on a mishandled punt snap. Here's Shannon.
Coach, you guys were able to put some points on the board before the half. What have you seen out of your offense in the last 2 minutes that might have been missing the rest of the game?
Well, we look like ourselves finally. You know, we're a tempo offense. We play with a lot of confidence. I think that was missing early. I think the interception hurt us. You know, we've had a couple mistakes that have hurt us, but I think we can come back and get back in this thing.
It'll be key for your defense to keep your offense on the field. What else do you need to see out of them?
Well, we've got to get the ball. You know, we need to take the ball away. You know, we don't have a takeaway yet. So, you know, the ball's out there for us to take. We got to go get it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
UCLA actually outgained Nebraska by 10 yards in that first half. But the Huskers lead 21-10 as we send you to John Saunders and Jesse Palmer with the Cooper Tires halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN on ABC College Football. We're at halftime here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska leading UCLA 21-10. Taylor Martinez threw 3 touchdown passes among his 116 yards. A couple of times Nebraska took advantage of the short field. Apparently Jean-Baptiste had an interception early in the game, gave them just a 28-yard field, but they took advantage of to score a touchdown. And then that drop snap by Sean Covington, the punter for UCLA, set up another very short touchdown drive for Nebraska. But you got the sense, Chris, that UCLA started to find its legs at the end of the half.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that they were very emotional to start the game, and that might have had an effect on the slow start that they had. Then when you saw what UCLA was capable of, and especially on the offensive side of the ball, going down for that touchdown right before the half. And the good news, if you're a UCLA fan, they've had 3 passes or big play opportunities. 3 of them completed, Sean, for over 30 yards throughout that first half. So the big play is there to be had.
Covington kicks off with the win. Kenny Bell decided to run it out. Bad decision. He advanced it only to the 16-yard line. Taylor Martinez and the Cornhuskers did not turn the ball over in the first half. Nor did they allow a sack. They had the ball for almost 18 minutes. Abdullah for a short gain. Here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Sean, both of these coaches told us before the game that they would find out a lot about their team after this game is played. Bo Pelini told me after the first 2 quarters he really likes what he's seen out of his players. He does feel, however, that they did not capitalize at the end of the second quarter. They could have put the team away, and they didn't do that.
Kenny Bell. Another nice run after the catch by Bell for a first down. Fabian Moreau chased him out of bounds.
You're going to be a wide receiver, you better be able to block like a noon one right here, number 18, allowing Kenny Bell to space to work. And again, making people miss in the open field is one thing Kenny Bell does well.
His 5th catch of the day. 90, Carroll Newby, the freshman back in there, tackled by fellow true freshman Miles Jack, who was a sprinter in high school. Jim Moore told us Jack could probably start at running back for UCLA when they practice one-on-one covering receivers. He covers the wide receivers because he's too fast to be bothered with the tight ends and running backs. Quick throw and catch out on the far side. Zimmerer, the fullback, CJ, senior from Omaha, with his first catch of the year.
Versatility for Anthony Barr. Not only is he a pass rusher with 13.5 sacks last year, but shown his ability to drop and cover and make contact right when the catch hits because of the close coverage.
Barr credited with 8 tackles in this game. 3rd down and 4 in Nebraska. UCLA 41. Martinez stays in there again and fires too high for Sam Birch.
You know, that's one where maybe you take it and run because you had tight coverage and he had an open lane. You take a look at this lane, you'll see this is the decision-making process. You're all about him staying in the pocket, finding first, second, and third option. But the most important thing is to keep the chains moving and do that with your feet. Instead, he tried to force one in there to double coverage with a little high pass, forced a punt.
By Sam Foltz. Keel Evans back deep. He's standing at his own 8-yard line. Wind has died down a bit, but it's still in the face of Foltz. You can see it help him knock down that ball. He downed it at the 11-yard line. Down by Quincy and Unwa. So first shot on offense for Brett Hundley and the Bruins when we come back to Lincoln. Well, at halftime here at Memorial Stadium, former Nebraska quarterback Tommy Frazier was honored He's been selected for induction to the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. One of 14 FBS players selected in May. He'll be officially inducted in December in New York City. 16th Nebraska player to be selected for the College Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Tommy. Great quarterback back in the early and mid-90s. Here's Jordan James off to the races for UCLA. All the way out near midfield. Chased down by Josh Mitchell and Corey Cooper. 38-yard run for James on the first play from scrimmage in the second half of the Bruins.
This is what they were talking about, the ability to make tackles in space. Harvey Jackson has him in his sights, and Jordan James gives him a leg and takes it away for big yardage.
And the collision between Fuller and James still turned out to be a gain of 5 to the 46-yard line of Nebraska. Harvey Jackson, Deontay Evans made the stop for the Cornhuskers.
This is the rhythm that the Bruin offense wants to operate. They want that ball snapped about every 14 seconds.
Paul Perkins, the running back now. He scored the Bruins touchdown. They trailed 21-3. Momentum is clearly shifted in this game. Hundley pulled it down, but taken down from behind by Randy Gregory, a yard shy of the first down.
That's a triple option right there. He has the option to throw the screen, to throw it downfield, or take it off. And what you're seeing, Nebraska's jumping that screen route, forcing Hundley to tuck and run.
Hundley hasn't had a big statistical day. He has rushed for 36 yards. Carrying here for the first down. He's in that 6'3", 222-pound frame. Thad Randall made the tackle. Feature about him on game day today. His mom, Julia Long, plays football for the Houston Energy.
And she's a defensive tackle. She gives him advice. He's got to use his hands, she said.
Hundley swings it out into the flat. Perkins missed tackles in space again by Nebraska. And Perkins is down to the 20-yard line. Josh Banderas finally got him on the new field turf, a gain of 20.
Excellent observation, Sean. This is where they get hurt because they play so much man-to-man. If you miss one guy, it takes a while for the rest of the cavalry to arrive to the party, and that's why Perkins has all that space to run.
I prefer simplify. Jordan James, the ball carrier, though that's the expression.
I'm quoting it. Yeah, I'm quoting it.
Josh Mitchell made the tackle. Gain of about a yard.
You know the quality that Brett Hundley has that I love in a quarterback? He's like this. He's even. There's not ups. There's not downs. He's very composed, and that's what you want when you're down on the road, a guy that doesn't get rattled. We're seeing that from number 17.
He threw for 305 yards against Nebraska. Last year, the first of 3 straight games in which he threw for 300. He's the only UCLA quarterback to have 300 games in a row. Running for his life there and out of bounds with a 1-yard loss. Taken to the sideline by Josh Banderas. Thad Randall put pressure on. When you go back to last year, Bo Pelini's defense gave up 70 points in the Big Ten championship game and 640 yards against Wisconsin. Then in the bowl game against Georgia, 45 points, 589 yards. Then in the opener, Wyoming got 602 yards of total offense this year. Hundley throws first down. Another decent-sized gain against the Nebraska defense. A seam found by Darius Bell. And a good throw by Hundley for 18.
And give a gold star right there to that front 5 of gold helmets, giving the protection for Hundley to keep his eyes downfield, and you see him throw that fastball.
Jordan James inside the 5. Going to mark it at the 3-yard line. Second and goal. Nearly midway through the third quarter. It was all Nebraska early. The game's tilted in favor of UCLA. James, touchdown. Again, very poor tackling. And UCLA is within 5. Will they go for 2, or with this much time left, just kick the point?
I think you go ahead and get the 1.
A little later in the game, you try to get within a field goal, but with more than a quarter and a half to play, they'll take the point.
I think they got confidence in their offense, Sean. They got their rhythm.
Fairbairn to kick the extra point. 14 unanswered points by the UCLA Bruins on the road in Lincoln, Nebraska, trying to beat the Cornhuskers for the second year in a row. James capping a 10-play 89-yard drive. UCLA 14 unanswered points. On that drive, they had 64 yards after a Nebraska defender made contact with the ball carriers. Nebraska done a pretty good job in the first half of limiting the number after they gave up 295 yards after contact last year in their loss to the Bruins in Pasadena.
Well, that's a definition of college football today on the offensive side. Everybody gets the ball in space, and it becomes athlete against athlete. And anytime you play man, all the other defenders are there. So if you miss the tackle, the runner runs for a long way before you can get help, until guys realize that their guy's not getting the ball. You got to run and rally.
Covington with the wind again. Too deep for Kenny Bell to return it. Amir Abdullah straight ahead. They'll stack him up after a 3-yard gain. Here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Sean, hearing Cassius Marsh will be back into the game. They had him on the sidelines. You saw him go down earlier in the game. He was favoring the left shin area. They put some Flexall on it. They were massaging it, and I have seen him do some high knee runs over on the sideline, but they are telling me he will be back in the game.
That's good news for the Bruins.
Solid football player, number 99.
Martinez the fake to Abdul, the deep ball, one-on-one coverage, but way too long for Kenny Bell. Fabian Moreau, the sophomore from Sunrise, Florida, in coverage for UCLA.
First of all, Fabian Moreau reads the route of Kenny Bell. He's running stride from stride. He got a little hook there with the left arm on Kenny's right arm. Look back at the ball too early. He'll get pulled away. Right there, didn't get hurt by the overthrow.
Nebraska offense has gone stagnant. We mentioned a lot of their scoring in the first half helped by the short field. The interception return and the problem on the punt, and now Martinez is sacked by Keenan Graham. His first sack of the game. He had 2 sacks in their opener against Nevada. They had 2 as a team. He had both of them.
Well, there's no separation or nobody open, and when you're able to get pressure with just 4, that allows you to operate some double coverages down in the field, forcing Taylor Martinez to eat the ball. He's got to look now, Sean, to get a little bit of rhythm. He's got to look to run it. If there's nothing there, use your legs. Then you come back to the pocket passing, but use your legs to help your team on 3rd down.
Absolutely no rhythm at all right now in that Nebraska offense. Sam Foltz punts, and they'll go for it, going backwards for a moment. Had to find some running room. Grind him into the ground at the 42-yard line. Chance now with a touchdown to take the lead for UCLA. Thomas Duarte, the tight end, with the catch. And they're into Nebraska territory very quickly to the 45-yard line. Corey Cooper made the tackle, and they come up very quickly after a 12-yard gain. Inside to Jordan James to the 40-yard line. Josh Banderas the stop. James will come out. He's up to 74 yards rushing now on 16 carries. Paul Perkins took his place. He goes in motion to the right. Hundley, quarterback draw. First down. Still running and tripped up at the 28-yard line by Harvey Jackson. And Harvey's hurt again. If he didn't make that tackle, Hundley might have been gone.
I'll show you right here, number 44, who's played well today. Explosive player. Watch him jump inside. You see him jump inside there. There's nobody outside. That is his responsibility. And Hundley, with the vision and the patience of a calm, composed quarterback, makes a big play. With Harvey getting the left arm in there, as you said, Sean, that would have been more yardage.
It's just the 12th meeting between these two schools. They've had some memorable games. Last year's was entertaining. Back in 1972, UCLA beat Nebraska in Los Angeles. That ended a 32-game unbeaten streak for the Huskers under Bob Devaney, which dated back to 1969. The next year here in Lincoln is Tom Osborne's first game as Nebraska coach. And the Huskers won it. And Nebraska beat UCLA in 1983. Was Osborne's 100th victory as head coach of the Huskers. Hundley on 1st and 10, throwing, caught, touchdown, Shaq Evans, and the Bruins have come back from 18 down to take the lead.
You live by man coverage, you die by man coverage, especially with a sharpshooter like Hundley. Not bad coverage right here by number 5, Josh Mitchell, but the ball's placed only where Shaquille Evans can get the football. And again, they're doing what they want to do, the Nebraska's defense. They want to run it, they want to pass it, hit big plays over the top.
Fairbairn takes the extra point. UCLA trailed 21-3. They've scored 21 unanswered points. 28-yard touchdown pass to Evans. They struck quickly, just 4 plays to go 57 yards. Sean McDonough, Chris Spielman, Shannon Spake back in Lincoln, Nebraska, where this game has completely turned around. Slow start for UCLA, perhaps still processing their emotions for losing their teammate last Sunday morning. Nick Pasquale, sophomore walk-on wide receiver, killed when he was struck by a car in San Clemente, California. As Jim Morris said at the half, late in that first half, you could see that they were getting back to playing as they ordinarily do. All right, Chris, thank you. Very quiet crowd here now. Taylor Martinez almost across the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. And now they're gesturing at each other. Jamal Turner wanted Martinez to lead him a little bit with that throw, and he did not.
Here's what I do if I'm Tim Beck. I get Taylor on the sidelines. Son, you got to run the ball. We got to get positive yards. I know you're a good passer. Everybody knows you're a good passer. Let's help our passing game by you running the football.
They haven't been on the field a lot since the first quarter, and that doesn't help when you're trying to establish a rhythm too. Martinez. Wow, the entire defense chasing after him, it seemed, and he finally threw it away. Anthony Barr very near to him.
There's some
talking going on out there.
Sign of strength by Taylor Martinez to break the tackle of Anthony Barr.
Cassius Marsh has returned to action. That defensive front for UCLA, as Shannon said that he would. 3rd down and 10. 3 out of 10 on 3rd down today after 1 for 11 against the Bruins last year. Rush picked up and the throw is dropped. Tyler Woolenweber was open, looked like he had it for a 1st down. He couldn't hang on.
These are missed opportunities that when you watch the film, you come back and say, only if we would have been able to convert on that one. Tyler, normally sure-handed, and he's going to pop the ball out. And that's a catch you have to make, and it was a good read on a zone blitz by Taylor Martinez, throwing to the blitz side and the strong side out. One that he'll normally make.
Dramatic change in this game. It looked like Nebraska might blow UCLA out. Now it is all Bruins as Holtz is on to punt again. Very short kick into the wind. And sideways out of bounds near midfield. 4 straight punts for Nebraska in 4 straight possessions. Hundley throws, and he is really heating up. Jordan Payton lost his helmet, so the play ends where his helmet came off at the 41-yard line. Credit Josh Mitchell with the stop, and Payton comes out of the game.
Sean, here's what's happening. Nebraska's not rushing. Look, they're kind of just forming a 4-man line to keep Hundley in the pocket, make him play quarterback. Well, if you make him play quarterback, that allows too much time downfield for those receivers to do work and get open.
12-yard gain. Hundley kept it, finds a seam. 1st down. Upended by Nathan Gary, the freshman, at the 29-yard line, and John Papuch is trying to find the answers right now.
I'm going to give him one. Start blitzing. You got to get aggressive because they're tearing you up right now. You have to take control and control the game and dictate what they do by your defense. Don't sit back and get killed. There's the blitz right there, missed tackle.
Jordan James runs through the defense and looked like he just stumbled at the 23-yard line. Andrew Green credited with the stop. Well, this is not the week when the Nebraska defense has stopped all the big plays. UCLA's had 4 pass plays in this game of 28 yards or more. They've had a 38-yard run. Hundley all day to throw. Now running out of time and sacked for about a 1-yard loss. Avery Moss, Kevin Maurice, a couple of freshmen combined on the 3rd sack of the day for the Black Shirts.
Along with Gregory, and they forced him to hold the ball that time. That was a good job by the offensive tackles. The young sophomore offensive tackles give him plenty of time. That's what's the epitome of a coverage sack.
4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Sean, man across the board, blitz. Here we go, athlete versus athlete.
They do come on a blitz. Hundley got it off, and it's incomplete. Kevin Fuller couldn't make the catch. Flag down near the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 6 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Just about anything that can go wrong for Nebraska is right now.
He hit him with his face mask. And you go, you know, that's a penalty that you hear the boos and you understand the boos, but the rules are the rules. You cannot lead with your head. That's just the way it is.
At that point, there's no reason to hit him at all.
No, exactly.
Plays right there in front of him. You could tell he was kind of backing off. Ducked his head and gave him a love tap, but as you said, that's going to be called every time, especially in this day and age. Hundley has a man open in the flat. Philip Rule lunging for the end zone. Touchdown, UCLA.
And this has been a big running formation, and you're going to see Philip Rule sneak out into this to the flat area, and they get a nice little pick off the safety on number 11, Andrew Green. There's a pick on Andrew Green, who had a man-to-man that allowed him to create space. Hundley to deliver the ball, and the awareness to reach the ball across before his knee hits for 6.
Extra point good by Fairbairn. 28 straight points for UCLA. They have opened up a 10-point lead. See, after that touchdown, Nick Pasquale certainly foremost in their minds, their hearts, wearing his number over their hearts. Sean Covington to kick off. Kenny Bell, Terrell Newby back to receive it. Both teams booming the kickoff in that direction with the wind. And there have been a couple through the uprights. I should point out that going with the wind has certainly been a help to UCLA, it seems, in these last 2 periods. Nebraska will have the wind at its back in the 4th quarter. Breeze has been gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. Abdullah, first down run to the 30. He got 5. Anthony Barr, another tackle. 76 yards for Abdullah, youngest of 9 children. A Muslim family in the Birmingham, Alabama area. 17 years younger than his oldest sibling. What a likable young man he is. Really enjoyed the visit yesterday with Amir Abdullah. Ellis McCarthy stopped him. It looks like it's a first down. It is to the 35-yard line.
We don't know how good a run that was. Kendricks had him right in his sights. Perhaps the best, most surest tackler for the UCLA Bruins, and Abdullah on contact spun away, was able to get the first down. Tough run by Amir. He's a tough kid.
Grew up in Alabama, big Auburn fan. Thought he was going to go to Auburn, but they wanted to play defensive back. Nebraska said they'd give him a chance to be a running back. Martinez in all kinds of trouble and slammed down back at the 31-yard line. Barr and Jack weren't going to let him get away.
This is speed. And one of the reasons why Jim Moore incorporates 3-4 defense, because you can recruit linebackers that can run against spread offenses. And right here you see it where both Barr and Jack are players on the play.
Four-yard loss. Ball juggled by Abdullah. And he gets hit along the near sideline. Jordan Zumwalt, Ishmael Adams combined for the play. UCLA has totally taken this record crowd out of the game. Nebraska in dire need of a big play.
Okay, you're going to see UCLA be a little bit passive right here. Play the sticks and play zone. Now let's see if Taylor Martinez, if he gets a throwing lane and turns it into a running play to gain some yardage. Only bringing 3. Here comes ball off the edge.
The 4-man rush. Martinez takes off running. And he has more work to do. Got within 2.5 yards of the marker. Keenan Graham made the tackle. 4th down and 3, and that gesture was the punt. Couldn't tell if he was gesturing to go for it or not, but he's saying send the punting unit out there.
He did exactly that, Sean, but the problem was you want to do that when you're in 3rd and 6, because with zone defense, the defender's eyes are back to the quarterback so they can break up on the scramble run.
Sam Foltz on the punt. It's a fake. And it is stopped right at the line to make. Broderick Nickens carried the ball. Based on our yellow line, the nose of the football just did get to it. Huge measurement. And they're short. Short by about a foot.
Right here he is, number 69. Now it's a good call. I mean, they're in good position, but you got a big offensive lineman that can run, and you have Goforth coming up and saying go back with a big huge stop. You might want to get a skilled position, or at least a tight end in there, somebody used to carrying the ball that has the knowledge maybe to stretch the ball across the 1st down line if he knew it was there. Huge stance for the Nebraska defense right now. Challenge.
And UCLA having its way with that Nebraska defense. All kinds of time again for Hundley, and now Evans with all kinds of open space. Inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
You can't play man if you're not going to get pressure on the quarterback. You can't do it. You can't ask those guys to do it. And what is happening is Nebraska's getting 0 pressure. They were creating pressure in the 1st half, but you can't ask Deontay Evans to stay with a player the caliber of Evans all day, because it's just pitch and catch for these guys. They're too good. That's why you have to blitz if you're going to play man.
5th pass play of 28 yards or more. That one went for 37. Jordan James now down near the 2-yard line. Ridden down by Corey Cooper, Nathan Gary. Second and goal. Hundley throws, touchdown. They are making it look easy on offense. Nate Yesse made the touchdown reception. Backup fullback with his first touch of the year. Fairbairn for the extra point. 4 possessions in this quarter for UCLA and 4 touchdowns. Jim Mora has to be so proud. Everything his team's had to deal with this week, the death of a much-loved player on their team. Down 21-3 in a hostile environment, everything going against them. When they were trying to make Nick Pasquale proud today, they have succeeded.
They certainly did, and I love the play call. First of all, Nebraska's not lined up. You're going to see their defensive line standing up. They're not ready to play. Here's the Yesse right here going to sneak in. They're playing man coverage, but when you can run and pass, you get everybody jumping inside, and it's just pitch and catch. Outstanding play calling by Noel Mazzoni this 2nd half, and in the 1st half, toward the end of the 1st half, where they got it going.
Those just joining us, Nick Pasquale, killed when he was struck by a car. Wide receiver for UCLA, walk-on. Jim Moore said when he looked at his high school tape, he saw a guy who was 5'7", thought to himself, this guy can't play, but then he kept watching the tape and realized that Nick Pasquale had a tremendous heart. Invited him to walk on at UCLA, became a very important member of the scout team. Tremendous attitude, showed up to work hard every day. loved by the other players. Called him Pac-Man. This program has been devastated by the young man's death. This UCLA team will attend his services tomorrow when they get back to Southern California. They wanted to honor his memory, and boy, have they done that with this performance.
Yeah, you know, Sean, it was hit particularly hard with Eric Yarber, the wide receivers coach, who after practice, Eric would go over to stretch Nick all the time, and when Nick wasn't there at practice, it really hit Coach Yarber pretty hard.
I said earlier this week, Eric Yarber, the wide receiver coach, went over after practice to stretch Nick Pasquale, and then realized that he wasn't there, and was very emotional on the practice field according to Jim Mora. Deep throw for Anunwa. Crowd roaring almost in desperation now, and that's what this has taken on for Nebraska, an air of desperation, just heaving bombs and hoping for a flag.
Well, they're getting the matchup that they want, and they're challenging Morrow on the outside. They've kind of tried to go deep twice, and he's been in pretty good position to defend.
Martinez handed it off to Amir Abdullah. Tough run, first down. Out to the 36-yard line, the final seconds of the quarter. Miles Jack and Eddie Vanderdoes made the tackle, an 11-yard run. Abdullah very close to his third straight 100-yard game to begin the year. He's up to 92 yards rushing. That's going to be the end of a third quarter completely dominated by UCLA. They outscored Nebraska in the third 28-0. Had the ball 4 times and scored 4 touchdowns. The Bruins take a 17-point lead to the fourth quarter in Lincoln. UCLA dominated that third quarter, scored 28 points. Nebraska just 57 yards of offense. Martinez has a man wide open. It's Amir Abdullah inside the 25. So with the wind at their back, they come out throwing, and it's a big gainer up the far sideline for 40 yards for Nebraska.
Yeah, it's just Amir Abdullah on a wheel route matched up with Zumwalt, the linebacker. And again, anytime you can get a running back with the skills of Abdullah on a very tough player like Zumwalt, you'll take it every time.
Martinez in trouble and sacked. Epinesa got him.
That's a luxury right there when you have those tackles staying his job, holding the middle and coming off blocks to bring down Martinez. He's got to make a decision a little bit quicker. If nobody's open, I'm telling you, if they want to get back in this game, he can help them and do what he does, run.
A lot of work to do for the Cornhuskers here in the fourth quarter, down by 17. Martinez throws, caught. Quincy Anunwa fumbled, recovered by Jake Long. Inbounds along the near sideline at the 16-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Good hustle play by Jake Long. Morrow with a good hit to force the ball out. Jake Long not quitting, going over to help his teammate for a block. Is able to pounce on a loose ball.
We'll talk about the big plays again this week given up by Nebraska, but the offense has done very little since the first quarter as well. And it's off the hands of Long. A little too high. And now a decision for Bo Pelini. Down by 17. We kick the field goal now and play for 2 more touchdowns, or you
I get points right now.
Just thinking about it. Looks like they're going for it. 4th down and 2. Offense on the field.
Your hard count. Always alert.
Martinez looking to the sideline for some guidance. They do run the play. Martinez throws, and it is caught. Boy, that took a lot of effort to get the 2 yards. Jordan Westerkamp, a nice catch at the 12-yard line.
It took a lot of effort and strength by Taylor Martinez and the accuracy to throw on a run.
First catch of the game for Westerkamp, just the 3rd of his freshman year. Abdullah, ball's out again and recovered by UCLA, it appeared. Officials say yes. Anthony Jefferson has it after Anthony Barr knocked it loose.
You want to see why Anthony Barr on Todd McShay's Scout Inc. is a top 5 player, splitting 2 blockers, able to lunge his body in there and get the weak point of the arm of Abdullah. Look at Anthony Barr. That's a big-time play, Sean. Defeating 2 blocks, making a solid tackle, loose ball on the ground. And Anthony Jefferson there to capitalize for the Bruins.
Brings the ball over to Coach Moore on that very emotional UCLA sideline, and you know if they win, there's going to be a lot of tears shed on that sideline and in that dressing room. Hundley hands it off. Jordan James up the middle. Barr was a running back his first 2 years, Chris, at UCLA under Rick Neuheisel. He wanted to be a running back. Told Rick that's what he wanted to play, but he really wasn't much of a factor running back. 6'5" running back with an upright style and not blazing speed. He has excellent speed for an outside linebacker. Good news for UCLA because it's not a forward pass and not an incompletion. The clock runs. It is a 9-yard loss. On the draw, Paul Perkins. Flag thrown. Did they grab him by the face mask? The ball's out. It's Nebraska's ball if it stands. Well, the line judge threw a flag. Looked like the head of the runner got spun around. Avery Moss recovered it after Corey Cooper knocked it out.
I think Kevin Maurice, number 55, is trying to make an effort play and catches the face mask of Perkins.
Personal foul, face mask, 55 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
No question about the call.
Yeah, again, it's the right call, and it's not a dirty play. You're just lunging and diving, trying to get an arm in there, and you hit him high, and he does come off, but they will call that every time. It's the right call. It's tough.
2 15-yard penalties on the last 3 plays. Nebraska penalized 7 times. Stephen Manfro now in, tailback. Philip Rule, the fullback, and Hundley wisely letting the clock run down. He kept it and got smothered at the 42-yard line. Avery Moss, help from Malik Collins. Here's a look at today's good hands play, brought to you by Allstate. The catch by Shaq Evans.
Winning his
touchdown.
Winning his one-on-one battle, and Hundley dropped it right into the bucket, making it not an easy, but a relatively easy catch, I guess, for Shaq Evans. Good player. Boy, I'm really impressed with Hundley. You can see why Todd McShay has him ranked number 2 behind Teddy Bridgewater.
He has just about everything you'd want. Size and arm strength, running ability. Even Manfro, the ball carrier, to the 35-yard line. The seats are empty here now as a record crowd. They love the way it started. And Taylor Martinez and the Cornhuskers raced off to a 21-3 lead, and everything was going their way. And the game totally turned. Give UCLA credit. They looked like the much better team here today. Small pockets of their fans, not exactly in the prime seats here at this great venue, which dates back to 1923.
Similar to last year's game, Sean, where Nebraska scored a lot of points in the first half and got 6 in the second. This year, they've been shut out in the second half.
Hundley running for a first down. Avery Moss made the tackle, and Corey Cooper. Something with this young talent. They're a year away. What do you think about UCLA now? Is maybe even getting into a national championship talk? I mean, most people think that Oregon, Stanford are a little bit better in the Pac-12, but who knows?
Well, I mean, you're looking at Oregon, Stanford, and Stanford's the physical team. Oregon's the score points. I think watching these guys, their skill positions and how good their defense is, they can play with anybody in the Pac-12 and anybody in the country, especially because you have number 17 back there calling the shots.
They're extremely well coached. Malcolm Jones breaks off some tackles. He's chopped down by Josh Mitchell. 18-yard run for Jones, the fourth tailback to touch the ball today. He'll get another call. Malcolm's a senior. And 3 touches against Nevada and scored 2 touchdowns.
I think, again, you talk about UCLA and how far they've progressed. And one reason why it makes you think they can compete in the Pac-12 is because they have depth now. They have a lot of depth at running back, at receivers. We were talking to Coach Moore. You're going down his list of receivers, and everybody's good.
Yeah, the offensive line was brutal in many ways last year. They gave up 52 sacks, 3rd highest total in the country. It was a very young and experienced offensive line. Brett Hundley had that big first down run late in the first half to extend a drive. They wound up scoring on it. They have dominated the game for the last 2.5 quarters. And a lot of problems to solve for John Papuchis, the defensive coordinator, and Bo Pelini, who's very actively involved in the defense.
You know, I think they love to play man coverage, but it's very difficult to continually to play man if there's no pressure. We saw pressure in the first half, and there's been a lack of pressure in the second half, and it's just target practice for a quarterback as skilled as Hundley. It's too easy.
Under 3 minutes to go. 3rd down and 2 at the 4. They get another first down inside the 2. Malcolm Jones is stopped by Corey Cooper. We looked at the stats from the first 2 weeks, Chris. A little bit alarming. It's early in the year, but Nebraska was 103rd in the nation in pass defense and 90th in total defense. Here's Fairbairn after UCLA took 6.5 minutes off the clock in that possession. They get 3 more.
The thing that Jim Moore has to be pleased about is the balance that they had on offense. And again, there was no rhythm, and we talked about maybe their minds were somewhere else at the beginning of the game. They got into the rhythm, and Bo was concerned. Bo Pelini was concerned going into the half. He told Shannon Spake that, man, that touchdown going into the second half gave UCLA momentum, and they just carried it on throughout the second half. Their defense has been outstanding the second half, shutting them out.
So those points Nebraska's given up at home since October 4th, 2008, when Missouri beat them 52-17 here. Fairbairn will kick off this time. Returnable for Kenny Bell from the 5. Bell was tackled to the 25 by Cameron Judge. Newby to the 20.
Big win for Jim Moore and the staff. Honor.
Program has showed a lot of character and a lot of love for Nick Pasquale with the way they played today. Wanted so much to win for him. Wonder if perhaps the beginning of the game was hard to manage those emotions, but once they settled in, they dominated this game. A lot of respect between those two. A very emotional coach who was fighting back tears on the field before the game. Runs off after a win. He's been involved in a lot of wins in his career at a lot of levels. I imagine very few have meant as much as this one, if any. Shannon.
Coach, you said this week that it really wasn't about a win or a loss. This was about Nick. But how far does this win go in the healing process for you guys?
Our goal today was to honor Nick. Our goal today was to come out here and have our play reflect everything that he meant to us and everything that was great about him, so that his family sitting at home, Mel, Lori, AJ, we did it for your son. We did it for your son.
How much of the emotional side of this do you think affected your first half play?
I don't know. I don't like excuses. I just think we were a little tight, and I think that's a really good football team over there. And I just told the guys at halftime, I says, dang, it's good to see you finally, you know. And we finally showed up in the second quarter and started to play with a little bit of confidence like we've earned. And we got one for Nick, baby. That's what I know, is we got one for Nick. So
looking ahead, we asked you this week how good this team could be this year, and you said, ask me after this game. So how good can you guys be?
We can be good if we keep working hard. we stay focused. We don't get ahead of ourselves. We prepare this week like we prepared every week. I'm going to give you every coach cliche there is, but that's the key to it. We got to stay humble and stay focused.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to walk over here and talk to your quarterback right now. Great game for you guys today. What do you think was the turning point for you guys?
I just think when we relaxed and just took it slow. First half there was a lot of emotions in this game. I mean, for instance, me, there was a lot of emotions for this game. I mean, with Pacquiao going, and second half we calmed down and then played our game.
What were the emotions like in the first half for you guys? I mean, we could see the towel that you're carrying around. What were the emotions like for you guys because of the loss of Nick?
To be honest, they're unexplainable. Unexplainable.
How were you guys able to get past it?
We just had to play, and we played for him. This is the game. This is the game for him.
Great job today.
Thank you.
Guys?
Obviously, the emotion still very raw, and understandably so. And Jim Moore deserves a lot of credit. And he said one of the things he likes coaching about college football is that you have to be in many ways a father figure to these men. Boy, did they need him this week, and did he stand up to that challenge. A win all Bruins should be proud of. Really a good day for college football. Final score 41-21. Coming up next, college football action continues. Tennessee and Oregon. So long, everybody.